Hello, and welcome to this edition of People in Transition. I'm your host, Bob Gerst. I've been hiring and mentoring executives, frontline employees, and job seekers for nearly 40 years through a host of transitions, some difficult, but most very good. This experience has given me a bird's eye view on a variety of trends, economies, industry disruptors, and transitions, big and small. It also brought me into contact with the thought leaders and decision makers you need to meet. Imagine knowing exactly what to do next and how to know it's time to make your big job change. We all know transitions can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. And it's even fun when you have actionable strategies and proven tactics to achieve the future you want. We'll share with you the tools and skills that can take your dreams to your next great job. So if change is on your horizon, you won't want to miss this discussion. Also, please subscribe to this podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. Margarita Yang, I am so excited about our discussion this morning.
Bob, thank you so much for having me on People and Transition. I'm really excited to be here today to share some valuable insights on how people can transition successfully. And I'm here to sell the steak, not the sizzle.
Annie, one of my signature questions is, when you were a child, what was it that you thought you wanted to be when you grew up?
For several years, from 5 to 12 years old, I always wanted to be an actress because there was this really pretty actress that I saw in a movie. And I figured, okay, if she is famous and doing that, I want to give that a go too. It seems like a really exciting career. But my parents told me that it's not financially viable. And every week they convinced me not to do it. So in the end, I listened to them.
And Annie, what were the transition moments that you have gone through from that time when you were a child and wanted to be an actress to where you're at today?
So from that point, when my parents told me I can't, I finally said, okay, fine, I give up. I won't even try. Therefore, I never did any auditions, never took any classes. And then I tried to find myself afterward. I couldn't because I came from a really poor family where I didn't have a lot of money or resources to try out different hobbies and explore myself. So from there, 18 years old, I ended up working a whole string of minimum wage jobs. But while doing that, I discovered public speaking. I really enjoy public speaking. I really enjoy sharing my thoughts and being authentic in front of people. While I'm an accountant today, a lot of the things I do are public speaking related. I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing YouTube videos. So while I'm not an actress, I have some of those aspects in there, in that I'm in front of the public and I get to be in front of the camera. Rather than being in another role, I'm being myself.
And Annie, one of the things that you've completed along the way, in addition to being a podcaster and a YouTuber, is an author as well. And your book, The 5-Day Job Search, really resonates with me. If you would, for our listeners, give us kind of the 3, 4, 5 key points that a reader would take away from that book.
Well, actually, this is great because this book is divided into 3 parts. So point number 1, you have to find your God-given calling. Everyone in this world is given a calling, a vision that no one else can see. Only you know it. It's in your heart. And if you don't go after this, while your physical needs will be met by a job and a paycheck, in the end, you will always wonder, am I doing the right thing? Why do I feel so unfulfilled? So you need to have the courage to go after the things that you feel in your heart and trust that you will find a way to make money doing it. Point number 2, the top experts in any field make a lot of money. So even if you think you can't make money doing something, just look at the famous people in your field, the famous magicians, right? Most magicians are not making money. But what about David Copperfield, right? So think about that. If you're able to brand yourself as an industry expert, the opportunities will be given to you. Number 3, go big or go home. If you're not willing to be rejected 2,000 times, 3,000 times in anything you do, this goes beyond the entertainment industry, right? Then you will not be given as many opportunities as possibly can. For example, for me, I wanted to be able to call myself an award-winning author. Well, awards are not given out of nowhere. So what I did was I applied to 50 book awards that I was eligible for. So everything I was eligible for, I said, you know what? I'm throwing in my application. They're $100 a pop. So in the end, I spent about $5,000 just on application fees. And 4 of them have come back so far as a winner. So you got to go big or go home to get results.
Annie, one of the things that you told me about the book is that people don't know how to position themselves. They present themselves in the wrong way. What did you mean by that?
Everything is about branding yourself properly. It's about selling yourself and selling your ideas. There's definitely a lot of people in this world that are more qualified, more capable, more intelligent than you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are given more opportunities than you. Even if you are not as qualified or capable, you can get more opportunities if you're able to brand yourself. So a lot of the things is like, it's more of a soft skill in terms of, do you make people feel comfortable around you? Do you really put your best foot forward into your appearance? Is your LinkedIn profile bio showcasing your achievements and the things that you want more of in your life? It's all those little things that add up. There's a certain polish to it that make people think, I really want to work with this person.
Also in your book, you talk about how young professionals need to take care of that student loan debt and clawing their way out of that. And certainly student debt is front page news today. What's your coaching to people that are in that situation?
Here's the problem, okay? We think that everyone has student loans and everyone has a college degree these days, so college degrees are a dime a dozen. If you think about it, only 1/3 of the US working population has a college degree. So degree holders are still in a minority. Now, it used to be that if you just had the degree, it would open doors for you. It's not necessarily the case anymore because 43% of the population who come out of college, they are underemployed, meaning they're working a job that doesn't require a degree, or they're unemployed. You have to do more. You have to really learn these different job search skills that I'm teaching and how to brand yourself. You are already in the minority in that you're in that 1/3 that has a degree, but you have to go further. Don't let the degree do the speaking for you. There are different things that you can do. Like, for example, you can have a nice looking headshot for your LinkedIn. Why is it so important? Because your headshot needs to convey your personality. How welcoming are you? Are you smiling in your picture? Are you the kind of person in your picture that looks like, hey, I just want to walk up to this person and say hi because they're smiling at me. It looks like they're open-minded enough to talk to me. Are you the kind of person that I want to work with? Those little things, it really matters. And you have to put in the work, meaning little things such as doing that headshot, which is about $300 to $500. It really makes a big difference in your job search. But I look at so many people's LinkedIn's and they have college degrees, but they don't put any effort at all into putting together an all-star LinkedIn profile.
And your YouTube series that you've created, you talk about managing money that you have. Give us a little insight into what you coach in that area, because certainly as you're in job transition, money is important.
I actually don't talk about the specifics of money management anymore on my YouTube channel because I feel like I've overdone this topic. I've done about 80 videos on how to manage and save your money. This is really important because, listen, if you're not able to even set aside the $300 to $500 and save that money up to get a headshot, how are you going to progress in your career, right? You have to be able to invest more money into your career, into your appearance to get ahead. But lately, I've been talking more about the specifics of how to brand yourself on my channel. This is a new development. Actually, I only started 10 days ago, but I've been churning out about 1 to 2 videos a day for the last 10 days on how to do this. Like, for example, one of the really important things is college students cannot afford that $300 to $500 headshot. So the colleges that I'm looking to speak at, they told me this problem, and I need to figure out an affordable solution for them. So every day I've been trying out two new AI headshot generators that are so-called the top in the industry. And I'll just put in my own money into this. I'm not asking for sponsorships so that I can give an honest review of the service. I have tried about 5 of them so far, and I still have 18 more to go. But this is a new series that I'm doing, and it's really interesting because people are looking at the results and they're like, wow, that really resembles you. It really looks like you. That could have fooled me. Or another photo is like, this looks nothing like you at all. But maybe after 23 of them, I can find the one that offers the most resemblance, but also looks professional and natural and realistic. Then maybe people have this solution for their own job search that will cost not even $50. And all it will take is about $50 and some selfies that they took with their iPhone.
I want to come back to that AI here in just a little bit, but I want to spend just a few minutes now talking about emotions during transitions. And you've talked with me before about how people that are going through transition experience emotional and psychological trauma, is the word that you use, from getting laid off or just being between jobs, and that you want to help cultivate a self-assurance mindset. What's that all about, and how do I get some of that?
This is more about having courage because people think, okay, I need to be more confident in my job search. No, 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 no. It's more about courage because there's always this fear in the back of your mind that like, okay, I have to pay my bills. How am I going to be able to do this? Oh my gosh, is this going to work out? The fear will always be there. It's all about, can you feel the fear and do it anyway? That's my question. Like, listen, courage and confidence do not feel the same. People think, okay, I look at someone else who's courageous, it's almost like they're a hero. They're doing things that I wished I could do, right? But when you really think about how courage feels in your body as a physical sensation, oh my gosh, my neck hurts, my shoulders are tight, my chest, it hurts, my heart is pounding super quick. These feelings, these sensations in your body don't feel good. But if you're able to feel the fear and do it anyway and have this courage and keep applying to what I recommend in my book, 50 jobs a day, regardless of how you physically feel in your body, then you will have job offers. You will have multiple interviews lined up, and that courage will eventually turn into confidence. All it is practice, because confidence really comes from doing something well and being able to replicate the results and have those results on call. You know, like the moment you want the results to come out, you're able to replicate it instantly. That's confidence right there, right? To be able to do it over and over again. You won't be able to feel that confidence unless you've had enough practice. So what I tell people is, you're feeling this emotional trauma. It's okay. I understand. But you have to realize when you really think about it, they are physical sensations in your body. If you're able to live through that physical pain that you feel, you can do anything. You can do absolutely anything that you set your mind to.
Annie, did I hear you correctly? You coach people something about looking at 50 jobs a day. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, you absolutely heard me correctly. In my book, I recommend people apply to 50 jobs a day. This is just another example of my go big or go home mindset that I was talking about earlier. If you really want opportunity, listen, all you need is one. You only need one person in the end to say, I'm willing to give you a chance. So how many no's do you have to go through before one person says yes to you? If you apply to 50 jobs a day, after 7 days, you'll have applied to 350 of them. 349 might say no, but one will say yes. And that's all you need. You only need one job at the very end.
Earlier, you talked about that professional headshot on your LinkedIn, making certain that you're smiling, that you appear open and energized. And there are other visual things that you need to look at and take inventory of so that you communicate that personal brand. Can you kind of go through a few of those things that our listeners may want to check off to make certain that they are communicating that the right way?
Yes. So for other things regarding their personal brand, here are a few things. Number one, your banner. Don't use the default banner that LinkedIn comes with. Add something else, do something custom, have some personality. Your banner is basically your space to reflect who you are. Figure out what your color palettes are. Like, for example, my color palette is light green. It's almost like this really calm, soothing green that reminds me of plants. And it has this kind of like a pop of orange as an accent because something needs to have attention. That light green, it will just fade into the background if not. So figure out what those colors are and try to incorporate it into your banner. Another idea for the banner is to go through LinkedIn and look at other people who have the same job title as you or the job title that you want in your industry and look at maybe 100 profiles. Take a look at what they're doing for their banner. Open it all up and you'll see what your competition is doing. Do they have a picture of their city? Do they have something that's more like an inspirational quote? Take note, follow what they're doing and follow only what the best are doing, because if you want results, you have to follow only what the best are doing. Another thing is the headline. When you do your research into different profiles, you're going to realize, oh man, a lot of these people, they don't even stand out simply from the headline alone, because when you do a search, the search only shows a few things. One, your picture, two, your name, and then the headline. And a lot of people leave that on the default. For example, real estate accountant at such and such company. It's really boring, doesn't do much. And you can customize this by thinking about who are you helping? Are you helping real estate investors? And how are you helping them? Are you saving them money on taxes? Well, your headline could potentially be saving taxes for real estate investors. That's far more interesting than real estate accounting at company XYZ. And then the third thing for your branding, which is so important, is that LinkedIn summary bio. People think that their summary bio has to be about their past, but to successfully transition, it has to be about where you want to go. That should be the main focus of what the bio is. It's about like, okay, these are the kinds of opportunities I'm looking for. This is what I'm working toward. These are my goals. By the way, this is also some of my past achievements, right? But the main focus of the writing is more about what you're looking to do. Like, for example, sure, my background is in accounting. I help people save money, but I'm transitioning away from that. I'm going into helping people with their careers. I'm going into helping people with their branding. So that's really the new main focus for my bio. And you can actually use ChatGPT to help you write this bio. I had paid in the past someone $300 to help write the bio, but now that ChatGPT is out, you can just do it for only $20 a month, right? Just get a subscription for $20 a month, and you don't have to keep the subscription for a whole year. Just once you're done with the profile, you can just cancel the subscription. So it's really only $20 to write a really great bio. I think this is the way to go.
Annie, you talked about AI and helping you with your profile picture. Can you kind of walk us through the steps that you do to get a good result? All right, I've taken my picture with my iPhone. Now what do I do?
Oh man, it's kind of hard to say because every AI generator is different. It's not necessarily about the input because some of these generators, they're asking for 17 or maybe even 25 pictures of myself. And I'm popping in the same picture into each of them, not the same picture, but like the same inputs, because I really want to see what the results are if I use the same pictures across all of them, right?
So you
some
copy
of them,
and paste the picture right into the text box and you do that 15,
oh
17 times?
no. There's not a text box. This isn't like the ChatGPT that comes with a DALL-E. It's not that. These are like specifically AI headshot generators, services that you have to pay for, and then they let you upload. They ask you to upload your own picture, like 17 to 25 of them. I've already had headshots taken professionally. So 8 of those pictures were those professional headshots already. They weren't selfies. And then like the others were selfies. So I kind of had a mix. So I'm not your average person. The average person might only put in selfies, but some of them, they came out like totally unrealistic. I was like, this looks nothing like me. So it's not about the input at all. But some of them did come back like, wow, this could have fooled me myself, right? I would have thought that was me, right? So it really depends, Bob. There's no one true way to get the best result. So that's why I'm trying out 23 of them to find out which one has the best technology. And that way people only use the one that I recommend, or maybe the top 3 that I recommend, rather than using a random one that they found only to pay and find out, wow, this looks nothing like me. And they might blame themselves. They might go like, well, it must be because I did something wrong. No, it's probably because of the technology.
What other ways have you seen ChatGPT being used in your job search?
So to help people successfully transition, this wasn't a huge transition that I helped someone with, but he went from auditing in accounting to wanting to do the real estate tax. So that's why I keep mentioning the real estate tax, because he's in the forefront of my mind right now. And he said, okay, this is a transition. It's going to be so difficult. And I said, don't even worry about it. Okay. You have something transferable based on your past experience and skills. And I think you can successfully transition. So what we did was we looked up the real title for this kind of work, because there's no such thing as a title called real estate accountant. The real title for it is actually called real estate tax associate. So either junior real estate tax associate, or just simply real estate tax associate, or senior real estate tax associate. So whatever the title he wanted to target. And then what we did was we typed that title into Google and then typed the words job listing afterward. And then we copied and pasted the entire job listing of any one of them from top to bottom. And then we prompted ChatGPT, I am looking to apply to this position. How can I write my resume in such a way to convey that I am the ideal candidate for this job? Please analyze what it is that the employer is really looking for in their ideal candidate. And then you paste right after the prompt everything from the job listing. Out pops this like 2-page analysis on what the employer is really looking for in their ideal candidate. And then we copy and paste that analysis into Word because we want to save that. After that, we do the same process again, but for 20 job listings total. So basically after this, we should have 20 different analyses. And the goal of this is really to figure out the trend among all of these employers, because what people do is they get caught up in one job listing. They look at it in detail and they're like, whoa, I'm not qualified for this because I don't meet this, this, and this. But what we're really trying to do is find out the generalities across all of them, because for a specific title in a specific industry, there are such like characteristics that make up a dream candidate for all of these employers. So we have to figure out what that is. And then we'll realize that for the things that are not repeated very often in the analysis, it's just like a nice to have. So like, for example, maybe across multiple listings, based on the analysis, we've seen, oh, they want experience in this specific software. Well, that's a non-negotiable right there. You have to have it, right? So we have to figure out what those trends are and then write the resume and the LinkedIn profile based on those trends. We're not going to lie in our resume and LinkedIn profile, but the thing is, if you have the things that they're looking for based on the analysis, then we speak to that. We make that the highlight of our profile to make it so that we are that ideal candidate and to successfully transition.
And so that's where some of your key words that you want to have in your LinkedIn or in your resume would be embedded so that you're more discoverable by recruiters?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things we also did was we also prompted while we were analyzing the job listings, we also asked an additional prompt, what are some keywords from this job listing that should also be in the resume? ChatGPT will also pop out like a whole list of keywords based on the job listing. And people think like, oh my gosh, it's so difficult to get past those applicant tracking systems that filter you out because you're missing those keywords that they're looking for. Well, here's the thing, the keywords that they're looking for are right there in the job listing. And since ChatGPT can analyze language really well, it can tell you, okay, most likely the keywords are this. So when you're writing your resume and your LinkedIn, you can also weave in those keywords as well. And if you're not able to make it natural, like you know for a fact that you've used a specific software, or yes, you do have experience with that keyword, but you don't know how to word it in such a way that it doesn't sound like robotic and come across as natural instead, you can also take what you've accomplished, like take a single line in the resume that you're trying to fix up, and you can pop that into ChatGPT. Like, this is one line in my resume, but I want to incorporate this specific keyword, and I'm just not sure how. Can you please incorporate it for me so that it's natural? And it will do that for you. Like, it literally comes out almost ready to go. It needs a little refinement, but it comes out pretty much perfect. Almost, right? And you don't need to use a resume writer. You don't need to pay a resume writer $300 to help you out with this anymore.
Let's talk about content on LinkedIn. What are your feelings about someone who's in the job hunt, being a content creator, and what do you think that it does for that job seeker?
I don't really like the word content creator because it makes it sound like you're an influencer and this is your job or something like that. I think of this more as You're making content simply because you want to share your expertise, because you're trying to come across and position yourself as an expert in your industry. So you do need some content, but you don't need to post content every day. I think maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks will suffice. And even then, it doesn't even have to be your own content. You could be sharing someone else's content, but it's related to what you do for your work. So basically, you're trying to curate the fact that like you do know what you're doing, and employers can trust that you are staying up to date with everything that is going on in your own industry.
Talk to me a bit about a job search strategy. What does that mean? Should you have one of those? And how do you blend the things that we've been talking about into that job search strategy?
Okay, so here's the job search strategy. The first thing is you need to figure out what you want to do for your career. Like that guy who came to me who's doing accounting, he had no idea. I said, come back to me once you're clear on what you'd like to do. Don't just apply to jobs randomly, right? We want to target this so that one, you're happy, and two, we can have something that will actually work. So first of all, figure out the exact title that you want, that you'll also be happy with, right? Don't do something just because it pays you well. Second step is to analyze the job listings. So follow that ChatGPT model that I'm telling you about, analyze those listings using those prompts, and then figure out what are those trends. Step number 3, write the resume based on the analysis, but don't lie on your resume. Step number 4, spruce up your LinkedIn profile, get those headshots, get the banner, get the headline in, and the bio. Those main things are really important. Just to add in something else that I haven't mentioned as well, the skills. So based on those keywords, those can also be skills, and you can add up to 50 skills in your LinkedIn profile. Shove those in as well, because recruiters, when they're looking for potential candidates, even when you're not applying for a job, recruiters are looking for people to hire, and they will search based on those skills, those keywords. And then the next step, I think we're on number 5, right? For a successful job search strategy, go big or go home. Apply to 50 jobs a day. Don't even bother reading the listing. Just apply. Use the easy apply button. If it has the title that you're looking for, and if it's in the right industry, you cast a wide net and you apply. I don't spend more than 10 minutes on one application, because if I'm telling people to apply to 50 a day, you got to use that easy apply button that takes like a minute or so to apply. That way, your job search is only 1 hour per day. This is highly doable because I've done it myself multiple times and I've had success with it. Then after that, only care about the ones who actually give you an interview, right? Don't mull over who has rejected you, who's ignored you. Only the ones who say yes and show interest by scheduling an interview with you, that's who you focus on. Only care about what's in your hand, the cards that are actually in your hand. And you do a lot of research on these companies so that you come prepared for the interview. After that, for the successful job search, once they give you an offer, you negotiate. Don't forget the negotiation process. Don't just take what they give you. You could be underpaid, right? So do your research on what is the fair market value for what you're doing and get your entire value's worth. And then you can start your new job. That is the steps for a successful job search strategy.
Annie, any books or other resources that you would recommend to someone who is in a job search transition?
Absolutely. I recommend people read The 5-Day Job Search. I am the author, so there is some bias here. But I personally, in my life, I have successfully landed 3 different accounting jobs in a row with no accounting degree. And I've done all of these in less than a week. So if I have applied this information and I have found success, there's no reason why someone else who's far more capable, more intelligent, more qualified than me cannot do this, because I've been told many times before that I don't have those qualifications and that I can't earn more money, but I have proven people wrong with these strategies. So you guys got to read the 5-Day Job Search, because I don't think there's anyone out there who's offering the same kind of information that I'm offering. This is like brand new information that isn't out yet by anyone.
Annie, you have been gracious enough to share so much information today and so many great actionable ideas. If our listeners remember only 3 things, what are the 3 things that you want them to take away?
I want people to walk away with actionable things, because it's really the action that changes people's lives and gives them the results. So number 1, remember the professional headshot. And if you can't get the professional headshot, then do the AI headshot generator. I'm still figuring out what's the best one, but if you follow me on YouTube, you will find out in 2 weeks. Number 2, fix up that LinkedIn. LinkedIn I think, has equal weight as the resume these days, but people put more focus on the resume than the LinkedIn. Remember, do the banner, the headline, and the bio. Do it by researching other profiles and figuring out what they did, and you can match the best in your industry. And number 3, to walk away with, go big or go home. This is my 3rd time saying it, but it's that important. Go big or go home. Don't be afraid of rejection. Just keep applying, because all you need is one person to say yes.
Annie, I knew from the first time we started talking that this was going to be a information-rich conversation with great passion and great energy, and you fulfilled all of those wishes. Thank you from all of our listeners for your caring enough and being willing to share with us. I appreciate it.
Bob, thank you so much for having me on People in Transition. Anyone who's looking to buy this book for a limited time only, they can get a special 10% off discount on the signed paperback copy of the 5-Day Job Search if they go on AnnieYangFinancial.com and add the signed paperback copy to their shopping cart and use the coupon code TRANSITION. That's TRANSITION. Thank you, Bob, for having me on your show.
Thank you for listening. We're working in unprecedented times. The purpose of these episodes is to give you the support and critical tools to adjust with the changing marketplace. I'll continue to introduce you to guests who have successfully survived their own obstacle course and can share useful information. If today's message was helpful to you, please share it on your social media. Your review and rating helps get this to more people. Also, if you have questions or podcast ideas for future conversations, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Change is constant. The more prepared you are for it, the better and easier the change will occur. Thank you again. This is your host, Bob Gerst. See you at our next episode.